Hey everyone, Egman here with another Top 10 Tuesday. Today we're going over the Tournament of Power set. This is one of my favorite sets of all time. Not only was it really cool thematically, but I felt like it was like one of the best ways for new players to get into the game. They just get a box of this set and they'd have pretty much, since the set was kind of small compared to a lot of other ones, you could pretty much get like a pretty much good idea for what kind of deck you want to make. Like with two boxes or so, you're able to get enough super rares to kind of make any of the universe decks. And I just thought that was a really cool idea and just a lot of cool design and everything. So with that, let's go into number 10 for the top cards.
Number 10.
First up, we've got Trio de Danger Bergamo. This card was kind of good for I don't know, for a couple weeks. This card was really good before Deadly Defenders became a thing, right? So if this card's in rest mode, your opponent battle's card can only attack this card, which is neat. And then also when Lavender and Basil are in play in your battle area, all Trio de Dangers in your battle area gain barrier. So not only does the Lavender and Basil get it, but also this Bergamo. So this is like a 20k, barrier card that your opponent kind of has to swing into, which is nice. And also, when this card is attacked, it gains plus 5k power for duration of the turn, which also means so every time it gets attacked, it gets beamed, and like even if you like negate an attack, you still get the boost too. So this was a really cool defensive card for a little bit. It did get outclassed by Deadly Defenders, especially the Vegeta one that came out in the Ultimate box like 3 months after this card was made, but still a really fun card and very, very cool design-wise.
Number 9.
So for number 9, this might be a bit of a weird pick, but I chose Teleporting Jamise. I feel like all the maiden cards are good and everything, but this is probably one of the cards that can kind of move it to really good. So it has this permanent that reduces the energy cost of main squadron in your hand by 2, and then active main, place 1 card from your hand in your drop area, send this card to your warp, and play it from your warp in your owner's battle area at the beginning of your next turn. So it kind of has like this protection kind of thing, which is really nice. But additionally, being able to like reduce the energy cost of your maidens are really nice, especially when you pair it up with the ultimate box Zeno, since that card reduces or just removes any specified energy cost for any of your cards. This could reduce something to 0, right? So like the 2-drop Brienne, or what, 2-drop Brienne de Chateau, this becomes a 0-drop because it can get rid of the 2 non-specified energy anymore, right? So a very good card in that sense. Pretty cheese. It's also 3-drop 15k, so when Child's Wish was a thing, you could just cheese this out and then you would get 2 energy for free for your maiden stuff as well. So I think this card was really helpful for the archetype in general and very important for supporting those cards.
Number 8.
Next up, we've got Strategies of Universe 7, a nifty little card. So for 0 energy, it's an active main. Choose all red sand cards in your battle area that gain barrier until the end of your opponent's next turn. So it's a little bit more, I guess, proactive instead of reactive. And it's, also it doesn't like, you don't play it and then any new cards that you play don't get barrier, which kind of sucks. But being able to just kind of protect your stuff for not only your turn, but your opponent's next turn has been kind of helpful depending on what kind of meta we're in, especially since a lot of things aren't as, they don't get blown up as much on play anymore, especially since, barrier gets around that. But like we get more stuff like during like combo steps, right? So if you want to make sure that your card can't be blown up, this is a good card. So it's been kind of floating around in and out of metas, but definitely a cool tech card, and will probably be seen in sideboards in the future as well.
Number 7.
For number 7, we've got Surprise Attack Majin Buu. So this is a really simple card. It's just 3-drop 15k, which means you could abuse it with Child's Wish, which is nice. And auto, when you play this card, choose up to 1 Majin Buu with 25k power or less from your deck, add it to your hand, then shuffle your deck. So this card was good, and like just the card that you're supposed to find, there's a 25k rare Buu that you can evolve onto this guy, and then you can also take as much life as you want with him as well. So that's kind of nice. But what really made this card good was during the Agent of Destruction Blue Dende deck. So just because like you could get this out with Child's Wish for free, and then not only is he a good evolve target for it, but he could find the 25k red Majin Buu from from set 2, I believe. So you find that card, you put that, you evolve for 2 red energy on top of him, and then after that, you're able to just go right into the secret rare that gets all the Agents of Destruction. So this was a really important card for that strategy, and it was pretty much the reason why it worked, right? Not only was it a good evolve target, but it found a piece of your combo as well, and you could get it out for free because it's Child's Wish as well. So really cool card. Not exactly for the reason it was intended for, but very very good for that one deck.
Number 6.
Next up, we've got Bold Super Saiyan 2 Khalifa. Kind of another card that was kind of abused, not necessarily for the reasons it was intended for, but so looking at it in general, it's a 4-drop for evolve for 2 red and 1 colorless on a Khalifa, so you can play this for 3. But when you play this card, look at the top 7 cards from your deck, choose up to 1 Universe 6 card with 15k power or less among them and play it, then shuffle your deck. So on its face, not terribly broken, being able to play like a free card. But what you don't really realize is that if you're playing with the 2-drop Kaba, the green one, Dash Pack promo, you could just find this Khalifa for free, play it for free, and then she could find another thing as well. So for 2 energy, as long as you hit the card, you could find this Khalifa, play it, and then you can find any Universe 6 card with 15k power or less and play it. So that was kind of the way you play this deck when this first came out. And it was pretty oppressive being able to summon as many things as, like, for just 2 energy, being able to summon as much as you did. It eventually kind of got outclassed by some other Khalifas, especially like the new like Universe 6 4-drop that has double strike and also can rest something as well. But this is definitely a good card, and saw a good amount of play, especially when the 2-drop green Kaba was being played a lot.
Number 5.
Going into the top 5, we've got the Sun Gohan leader. A really, really interesting leader. I like this guy a lot. I really like his design. So he's got the Warrior of Universe 7, which all of the Universe 7 leaders from this set had. It just means that all Universe 7 cards don't have specified costs, just because they were pretty much a rainbow of colors. But auto once per turn, when you combo with this card, when you combo with a Universe 7 card from your battle area during your turn, you draw 2 cards, which is pretty good. Sure, you'd have to. There's sometimes some awkward turns, but if like you turn 1, you play a Goku, look top 3 for a card, then swing with your Gohan. You can combo that off, and you draw 2 more cards too. So really cool. He also, just the fact that he's Sun Gohan Adolescence meant he got the free Videl blockers that he could play as well. It was an untapped 2 leader, and then also there is permanent Universe 7 cards in your battle area can be comboed when in rest mode, so that's really nice. And then auto once per turn, same thing. When you combo with a Universe 7 card from your battle area during your turn, you draw 2. So it does not have the when this card attacks, draw 2 ability. But this effect right here is really cool as well. Being able to just get more value from your cards that are in rest mode. And just the extra cycle it can be really helpful as well. So I think it's a really cool leader. Especially it was a blue leader in a time when we were running a lot of like Flute, when Flute was a thing, and like Unyielding Trunks. Both those cards were live. This was a potential leader to take advantage of all that, and I just really think it's a neat deck.
Number 4.
For number 4, we've got 4 Seeing Hit. I promise I put him at number 4 because of how I really feel about it. Not for the silly pun we just did, but for a long time, this was the best 4-drop that you could play. That's a 20k double strike and auto. When you play this card from your hand, your opponent reveals their hand. Choose up to 2 battle cards with 35k power or less from their hand, send them to their warp. At the end of your opponent's next turn, return all cards sent to their warp with their skills to their hand. This just ended games, right? You would just, on turn 4, you just slap this down. You look at your opponent's hand, you take 2 super combos out of their hand, and then you pretty much determine, all right, can I win the game right now? And then if you can, you just go for it, right? You don't have anything to be afraid of. You know what your opponent's options are. Like just the fact that you get to look at your opponent's hand is broken, but you also just get 2 cards out of it that could be super helpful. You can get extra cards so they can still have their negates, but really, like, they normally would have super combos, or like even if they just have a couple 5k combos, you can get those out of there. And I don't really know what else to say about him. He was really good. He saw play for a lot of time, and pretty much was the reason a lot of players played red, was just to play this on turn 4. It slowly got a little bit worse, especially when counterplay started happening. This got wrecked by like Denial of Hope and Preemptive Strike, that kind of stuff. When those cards kind of saw a little bit more play, this was kind of outclassed in that regard. But man, what a good card and what a good finisher.
Number 3.
For number 3, we've got one of my favorite leaders of all time. It is the Frieza and their Golden Frieza Final Assault or Final Assailant. So also has Warrior of Universe 7, but it has this active main of once per turn you can place one Universe 7 card from your hand in your drop area and then draw 2 cards. And then it's also an untapped 2 leader. Like this is everything I was looking for. Just the fact, the biggest thing for this card really is that you're able to gain card advantage without attacking your opponent, right? And we're starting to, this is like the first of many leaders that are kind of like that, where yeah, you can like you don't have to self-awaken your opponent, right? Your opponent can get kind of stalled, and it was really at a point where like set 3, set 4 was there are a lot of decks that were self-awakening themselves, but we're also relying on your opponent swing onto your leader, right? But with this leader, you didn't really have to do that. You could just gain card advantage for free, right? And then like if your opponent's not doing anything, if they're not awakening fast, or they're not doing anything to gain card advantage, you get to outvalue them for really free, which is really cool. And just on the backside as well, so the same thing, active main once per turn, you can place one Universe 7 card from your hand into your drop area, draw 2, then choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, switch to rest mode as well. So this is just great. I could see this being important, like a great card even now, because if you think of like the Bergamo and Chilled cards, this just synergizes a lot with that as well. I don't know, just a really cool card, being able to just gain advantage, being able to discard 1 to draw 2. This is like the first card for that kind of had that ability, and the only one that really has it on active main. Ever since this card's come out, they usually have it on when your leader swings, you have to discard 1 to draw 2. So you'd still have to like give advantage to your opponent somehow, but I still like this card. I think it's really cool, and people still use it. I think it's a great card.
Number 2.
For number 2, we've got Master Roshi, Forged of Will. I don't know if this is a weird pick or not, but he is definitely one of the best cards from this set. Just like he was the first, like he's super simple, right? And most good cards are super simple, but it just has counterattack, negate the attack, and play this card. Done, right? Easy to understand. Doesn't seem like it does a lot, but just the amount of value this card gains, like he's better than a lot of negates, and just the way that not only can you play him for 1, and then you have a 5k combo you can use later, but even if you just need to, you don't have any energy open, you still need to defend yourself, he's a 5k combo. So just being able to be so versatile, being able to have a body that you can play on your opponent's turn, just to summon on the field for that negate is great. And I don't really have a lot to say about him, but he was used for a very long time and pretty much opened the door for this kind of effect to exist for all colors. And I think blue just got one like a year ago, but yellow got it first and was the first one to have it for a really long time. And yeah, he's still seeing usage, and I think he's just a really good card.
Number 1.
Real quick before we go into the top 1, we're going to do some quick honorable mentions. This is a really hard set to do a top 10 of, not because there are like a lot of bad cards, but more of none of the cards are like super duper like broken on themselves, but everything worked together fantastically, right? There are just a bunch of cards that it was more archetype based, right? And so none of the cards were super broken, except for maybe 1 or 2, but it was more archetype based, so the archetypes were very strong. But this Ready to Fight Son Goku, great card, still like one of the best like Universe 7 1-drops in the game. Universe 7 Representative was really cool, especially since it was like a Universe 7 card as well. Good super combo for Universe 7. This Beerus is really cool. People like using him still. Just being able to, when this card attacks the leader card, your opponent chooses any number of cards from their hand, battle area, or energy, which the total cost adds up to 6 or more, and places them in the drop. Rebriand, of course. I love this card so much, and like just the fact that like I felt like Jamise was a little bit better for the archetype in general, but this is a cool card, and I think we have better cards for the archetype now too. But this was a cool card, having barrier and being able to KO a card when you play it as well. This Frieza, super duper cool boss monster. Really liked this card when it first came out. It didn't really see play after the first couple of weeks anyways, but I thought he was really cool. And we haven't seen like this kind of effect since. Like the Son Goku, like all the super rares in this deck and in this set are pretty playable and had some cool ideas with it. like the Son Goku as well, being able to just do like a lot of like pressure on him, and then this Jiren. I think this got outclassed by the Jiren we get in next set, but he was a cool idea for the archetype as well. But if we go to number one, we just got my boy. We got Victory Strike. We don't really have to talk about it that much, but can we all assume like, yeah, this is the most important card from this set, and still like one of the most expensive cards in the game. And he wasn't really good when he first came out. He had some decks, but oh man, once we had the Height of Mastery became a card, and also Path to Greatness. Once those two cards came out, like this card was super good. This card's just won me so many tournaments and so many games. It's paid for itself at this point too. But yeah, what a crazy good card. I'm surprised they haven't banned it, but it's probably because it's just so hard to get and everything. But yeah, Victory Strike is such a good ability, especially when you pair it up with cards and decks like Universe 7 Frieza that we just talked about, or just any of the Wish decks too, because they can get value without swinging on your opponent, which is nice. So yeah, good card. It's super broken. I think he's fine now. I think there's ways around him enough that he's not like an automatic win, but man, what a ride this card was. So that's going to be it for today. Let me know what you think about it. I can see there's a lot of kind of argument for what the top 10 should be for these. I think like the top 4 or 5 are pretty solid as usual, but the bottom 5 for this top 10 list could be a lot of other cards. So thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll catch you all next time.